Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints were embarrassed on Sunday, 51-27. I don't think many of us realistically expected New Orleans to win that game. I'll speak for myself. I didn't. They were a home underdog. And for all the reasons that we've talked about, rookie quarterback making his first start, a short week after playing Monday Night Football, fourth starting center in as many weeks, no Taysom Hill. As we mentioned, Derek Carr obviously was out. You're playing the Bucs, who were leading the division, pretty good team. It was just an unfavorable spot for New Orleans, but they didn't lose the game because of Spencer Rattler. As a matter of fact, I think Spencer Rattler did some nice things in the game. If you just look at the game in a vacuum, like no context at all, and you pull up the box score and you see 22 of 40 for 243, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 27.7, and a rating of 60.7, you're going to look at that and go, this guy stinks. And he wasn't good enough on Sunday to win an NFL game. But you didn't need Spencer Rattler to be good enough to win an NFL game, and context matters, like we've talked about plenty. You needed, Spencer Rattler was out there, like we just talked about. First start, short week, fourth center in as many weeks. You're missing 3 starters across your offensive front. All of your interior players, there's no Taysom Hill. I mean, it was a very unenviable spot that Spencer Rattler was in, but there was a lot of good as well. And Dennis Allen, after the game, in his post-game, although there wasn't really much to talk about, was asked about Spencer Rattler's debut. Here's what he said.
I thought he did some good things. I mean, there were some encouraging things, some things that he's going to learn from a mistake standpoint on his part. I don't think we did enough around him to help him. I mean, it was hard for us to be able to run the football. I thought they really won the interior part of the line of scrimmage, really probably on both sides of the ball. I think they won the line of scrimmage. I thought he did some things really well early in the game, and in particular the first half. And then, as the second half kind of went on, I thought, they started to pressure him a little bit more, weren't able to be as good in protection, and, it made it more challenging for him. That's
Really the ticket. In the first half, Todd Bowles wasn't necessarily bringing a lot of pressure. All the Pro Football Focus grades bear that out. In the second half, they ramped up the pressure, sacked him 5 times, and very clearly it was just difficult. You take Chris Olave off the field as well. You've got a rookie in Bub Means, who had 5 catches, and it was a nice day for Bub Means. Touchdown. Spencer Rattler's first touchdown pass. Bub Means' first touchdown reception. There's some encouragement there. I would also look at Spencer Rattler's ability to move. And that's probably the most encouraging thing. It wasn't just his running ability. Rattler did run 4 times for 27 yards, a long of 16, which was a nice play. You saw him move within the pocket. But I think probably the most encouraging number, the most encouraging statistic from the day, and I'll hat tip our guy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net for this. He does a numbers to know piece. I'd recommend you go read it. There's some real context there about how bad the Saints defense was, but buried in those 10 numbers to know, and a lot of them being very bad defensively, there was one that was sort of a silver lining, and the number was 111. Spencer Rattler threw for 111 yards outside of the pocket. That's the most of any Saints quarterback since Next Gen Stats began tracking that number in 2016. So in 8 years, no Saints quarterback has thrown for more yards outside of the pocket than Spencer Rattler did on Sunday, which tells you what they were very intentionally trying to do. They were trying to recreate the pocket. they didn't think the offensive line was going to be able to hold up, which they didn't. And they were trying to get him away from pressure to use his athleticism, recreate the pocket, and let him throw. And he did a nice job with that. That's something you can build off of. Listen, they're not going to put Spencer Rattler in the Hall of Fame after one game. And I'm also not telling you that he is going to be or should be the starting quarterback. When Derek Carr comes back, Derek Carr should be your starting quarterback. He gives you the best chance to win games this year. This franchise, though, is going to have whenever Carr comes back, they're going to have a very honest conversation about what they are in the short term and what they're playing for potentially in the long term. My contention has been, will continue to be consistently that the New Orleans Saints under Derek Carr are never going to win anything of significance. This season, now at 2-4, likely 2-5 after Thursday. We'll see how the result goes. But again, you're going to be playing a rookie quarterback. It's unlikely you have Chris Olave against the Broncos. I don't think he'll clear the concussion protocol in 3 days. We'll see if Taysom Hill's available. I would think that that's probably also unrealistic on a short week. We'll see who's available on the offensive line, but you're very likely going to run that same unit out there. And by the way, Denver is 4th in the NFL in total defense and scoring defense. So all the conversation is going to be about Sean Payton coming back and Bo Nix and the 2 rookie quarterbacks, and I get all that. But the biggest storyline as pertains to the Saints is you're going up against a great defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL. And that's going to be a real challenge for your rookie quarterback behind a mash unit on the offensive line without your best receiver, without potentially your best, most dynamic or versatile weapon, I should say, in Taysom Hill. So I don't think you're going to win this game. And so if you fall to 2-5, you're getting close to mathematical improbability of having even a mathematical odds of digging yourself out of that hole. So your season's going to be over. Do you ultimately try to play for the future with Spencer Rattler to see what you have there? I would prefer you continue to run Derek Carr out there, let Rattler continue to grow and learn instead of ruining him by having him struggle behind a bad offensive line and maybe ruining his confidence or whatever the case may be. But for the New Orleans Saints, their only way out of their mess is when you reset, you have to hit on a young quarterback. That can be on a rookie deal as you reset your salary cap, get younger as a franchise, and grow and build together. It's the only way to do it. You're not winning anything of significance with Derek Carr. You're going to miss the playoffs for 4 consecutive years. You're probably going to fire your coach and bring somebody else in. The saving grace would be if Spencer Rattler ends up being a guy capable of being a starting quarterback and a good starting quarterback in the NFL. And you saw some of that ability. The statistic of him, the passing yardage outside of the pocket, the most ever for a Saints quarterback, or at least in the last 8 years since Next Gen has compiled that statistic. You can see the athleticism, you can see the arm strength, you see the ability. Can he continue to grow and develop and function within the offense? That's the big question. But listen, they ain't putting him in the Saints Hall of Fame for Sunday. It wasn't anything to write home about. But there were positives that you could see and say you can build upon that. Let's see how he does this week on a short week and then forever, for how much longer he ends up being the starting quarterback. The report on Monday was 3 to 4 games that Spencer Rattler will be the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, including the game against the Bucs. So he obviously played against the Bucs. He'll play this week against Denver, then potentially one more, maybe 2 the rest of the way when you've got the Chargers and you've got Carolina as well. So you're going coast to coast. While those might feel like winnable games, at least Carolina might feel winnable, going coast to coast is unenviable. We'll see if they might be able to make it. But Spencer Rattler, a lot to build on based on his performance in his debut. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.